Let's talk about the fear of sharing what we know. As a dragon, which is an archetype, this used to be one of the biggest things that I struggled with when it came to my business. I was so afraid that if I shared my knowledge openly, that someone would steal it, they would take it, they would use it against me, they would use it for their own profit. And what I had to come to realize was that the information that I channel, that is shared with me, and that I learn through my own desire to expand, grow, and become more, this information is not to be hoarded. It's like if we think about the dragon, right? They have this cave with all this treasure behind them, and they're hoarding everything that's in there. So this is that fear for the dragon archetype a lot, or this fear of abandonment, this fear of betrayal, and this fear of like, nope, you're gonna use something against me. I have to have all of this for myself. If you're going to use it, I need to at least profit off of it, this kind of aspect. So I know not a lot of us out there are dragon archetypes, but this is really an important topic for us to discuss when it comes to the online coaching realm. What we're seeing a lot of is this idea that we have to gatekeep. Okay. So gatekeeping is a masculine tactic. This is a tactic to oppress and suppress, where this select group, right, has access to the keys of the kingdom. And if you don't play the game, if you don't do what they want, if you don't appease them, make them happy, then you don't get access, right? And part of this access is to do with reoccurring payments to these individuals. So this is something that I talk a lot with my clients about, where when I come in as a coach, my role is to educate my client so that they can go and become independent and grow and expand and create what it is that they want to create. My goal is not to lock them in and keep them a repetitive customer for life. That means I'm not doing my job, because as a healer and as a teacher and a coach, I am meant to educate, right? I'm not meant to keep someone having to, have access to the tap, because I'm preventing them from accessing everything that they need. Now, at the end of the day, if someone wants to continue to work with me because they want ongoing support, or if they want me to take over certain aspects of their business through my done for you services, I'm happy to do that, because it's stuff I enjoy doing. And it's stuff that they just decide, you know what, this is not filling me up in my business. So I want to outsource it and have you do it. So I do it. And that's fine, right? That's totally fine. But it's going into something with this intention of, well, I have to make sure that I'm only sharing this little nugget and this little nugget and this little nugget, so that they keep having to come back to me and pay me for this new aspect and this new aspect. This is one of the biggest problems I see when people hire coaches, or when they purchase a program, or when they hop into a container, is they're not getting everything that they need. They're not getting the whole picture. They're getting a little piece. Okay, so one of the trendy things right now that I see with a lot of ads are the ascension funnels. This is not a new thing. The ascension funnels are something that it goes simply like this. You have a low ticket or free lead magnet, and then you have an upsell that is a mid ticket. We'll say, like, usually you'll see them, they're like $17, $27, $37, something like that. And then there's a higher ticket, usually around $97 or $197. That's what you're seeing when you hop into these things. That is called an ascension funnel. This is what everyone's teaching, where it's like, this is how you make your Instagram make you money overnight. And it does. It does. It can. And it's not a very difficult thing to implement. But if you don't have everything else put in place in your business and everything else structured properly in your business, it's not very helpful. If you don't have a content strategy to where you're showing up regularly to promote this lead magnet, not very helpful to have the ascension funnel set up. If you don't have a signature offer that's a higher ticket offer that you're driving people into from this ascension funnel, not super helpful. And if there's no cohesiveness to it, that's not very helpful. So there's a lot of these different aspects. And to be honest, a lot of people even struggle to show up. They don't even know what to make as a lead magnet. They have trouble piecing all of this together. So it's like, yes, please give me, $500 to come into this container and I'll teach you how to make an ascension funnel. And then people walk away and they're like, I just wasted $500 because I cannot use this information. I can't apply this in my business because I need more. So then the person's like, hey, don't worry, I've got more for you here. And then it's this endless cycle. So something that I teach my clients and teach you all is that we need to stop with the gatekeeping. Again, this is a very patriarchal oppression suppression thing. There is nothing wrong with sharing knowledge openly and educating people. Because at the end of the day, the reason that someone comes in to work with us in a higher ticket container is exactly what I said. They come in to work with us. No one can duplicate that. No one can duplicate you. So if you share openly, you're giving tips, you're providing value, you are showing up, other people can certainly duplicate what you're teaching and what you're saying. It happens all the time. You will find so many coaches out there that are just regurgitating what everyone else is teaching. That's everywhere. Okay. But at the end of the day, by you showing up, showing your knowledge, showing your heart, showing your processes, you are instructing and teaching people who you are. And that's when they come and say, I want to work with that person. I want to be in her energy. I need her magic in my energy so that I can move through this stuff and have the success that I need. Because at the end of the day, strategy is a very small portion of our business. I usually say there's this trifecta. Okay, we have strategy, we have framework, and we have mindset. So it's like, if we're not having access to all three of those things in a coaching container, we're going to feel that we have wasted our money because they all are required. They all go together. And there's no way around that. Sometimes I bring in clients who their goal is to build out a business, but we spend the first couple of months working on their mindset and healing stuff, helping them find their voice, helping them learn who they are, helping them get clear on their vision and their intention for their business. Because without that, it's really difficult to show up. This will happen a lot. People come in, they're like, I'm ready to go. I want to build this. I want to do this and this and this. And I'm like, cool. So very quickly, we're able to figure out strategy and come up with the framework. And I'm like, all right, now here's what I need from you. I need you to create a new Instagram account for your business. I need you to create a Facebook group that you're going to drive people into. That's a generic Facebook group. I need you to start recording some trainings and some videos. And this is usually where things come to a screeching halt. Why? Because now it's time to take action and now it's time to start showing up. And there is a fear there. There's a fear there where it's like, ooh, now it's getting real. And I actually have to start showing up. I actually have to start putting myself on video. I actually have to start sharing what I know and putting myself out there where trolls are going to tell me how much they don't like my nose rings. This is the biggest thing that I get in the online space. I don't like your nose rings. Who cares? I'm a perfect stranger. What do you care about my nose? It's so funny, but we deal with this stuff. And so there's this shutdown. And so this is a big part of what I have to help walk my clients through so that we're able to continue to go. This will happen. I mean, how many of you would love to hear in comments? How many of you have experienced this where you come into a container, you learn a strategy, but you never apply it because the next step is actually showing up. You learn, okay, this is what I need to do. This is how I create this. This is how I put together this. This is this strategy. But I have to make videos. I have to start a podcast. I have to record myself. I have to show, be vulnerable and show up. This is major roadblock.
Hey, Nancy here. Sorry to interrupt this video right now, but I want to remind you, if you are looking to improve your feminine embodiment and want to stand more in your feminine power, go ahead and grab my authority activation today. You can either click the link below in the description or scan the code right here.
for so many businesses, for so many women in their businesses. And this has to do with mindset, that fear of control, fear of failure, fear of being rejected. And this is all witch's spoon energy. Each of the archetypes have their own energy, right? Their own fear when it comes to business. Mine with the dragon was, I don't want to show up and put myself out there because other people are going to steal my work. That was the big fear for me. For possums, it's that overanalysis paralysis. It has to be perfect. I have to have everything figured out. I have to have everything perfect before I could start showing up. For the sheep, it's what if I say something wrong and I upset someone? It's lots of people pleasing kind of energy. So we all come in with these different reasons for why we're afraid to show up. This is why I teach that we need to start creating the strategy, right? So we start creating, we get an idea for what we want for our signature offer. We get an idea for what we're going to do for our ascension model based off of that signature offer. But now we've got information. This still has to be built out. But this is why I say, okay, as we're building this, you need to start showing up so that you can grow an audience. So you can start having someone to talk to so that when we launch, you've got someone to launch to. And again, this is the big stopping point. This is just what happens. So when we come from a space of, instead of worrying about, ooh, are people going to like this? Are people going to get upset? Are people going to judge me? Am I going to get any result, any like, anything, right? We get very personally attached to the outcome of us showing up. And why wouldn't we, right? We're exposing our heart. We're being vulnerable. We're putting ourselves out there. And that's an intimidating thing, especially as women who have been taught it's not okay for us to show up and put ourselves out there. We're meant to look pretty and take care of everyone else, right? So for us to start showing up and presenting ourselves and talking as an expert in what we know, that feels very foreign, very, very foreign. So what I want to invite, if you are someone who is struggling with showing up, we need to do a few different things. We need to make sure that we are removing personal attachment to the outcome of our content. Okay? It is not like up to me who's going to like this, who doesn't like this, how they feel about it. Our goal is to share our knowledge and trust and know that it's going to attract the people that need what we are offering. We're not going to be for everyone. And so we have to be very clear about who we are for so that they can find us. And those that we're not for, unfortunately, may be rude about it. Others may just keep scrolling. Great, fine. But we need to remove that personal attachment to the outcome of our content. The other thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that we are sharing content from the aspect of value versus virability. We see this a lot too, right? All these like weird videos. Oh my gosh, who has time to make those videos, right? Who has that time? Who has someone to follow them around and take random video shots of them doing stuff and then circulating it around and breaking stuff and doing all this shocking stuff to try to make their videos go viral? I don't have time for that as a single parent. I certainly don't have access to someone to follow me around and take videos. So going viral, though, also, this doesn't guarantee you're going to make any money. It just means that you're going to get a lot of views on a video. And that those views on the video, they may not convert into anything. But by focusing on sharing value, you're going to attract people that are interested in actually working with you versus people that just want to observe what you're doing and watch what you're doing for entertainment purposes. This is just not working, especially in like business coaching, healing, that kind of stuff. Now, sure, can we do some silly ones about, twin flames, or because a lot of people know about that in the space, or meditation, how it's hard to calm our mind. Sure, we could do silly stuff like that that's relatable and fun, that's going to be more shareable, more engaging. But we can also be showing up in an educational format to where we're able to share what it is that we know and also bring value to other people. So that needs to be our focus. It's the value aspect that we're bringing. And just knowing as I bring value, I'm going to allow for those who need this specific value to find it. And that's that. I have no attachment. If someone comes across this and it's not for them, they are permitted to say this is not for me. Now, should they be rude or ugly about it? No. But unfortunately, that shows where they are in their own healing experience. And to be honest, we need to just have compassion for these people. Because imagine if they're going to say that those types of things to a complete stranger, imagine what they say to themselves every day. Like, oh, my heart, right? What are they saying to themselves every day? I wouldn't want to be in that head. Okay. So we just have compassion and recognize that that's their stuff and allow it to move on. That's unfortunate that that person is in a space where they're feeling it necessary to say something like that. Block, delete, move on. It has nothing to do with us. It really doesn't. It has nothing to do with us. So we need to release that attachment. Okay. So one last thing I want to kind of remind my healers, there's a joke I make where I refer to healers a lot of times when we come into the space, we go into kind of like this healer hoe energy where we give away our services a lot, right? It's like, gosh, if people would just experience this, they would know how great it is, and then people would want to pay for it. Well, unfortunately, that I think most of us who have been there, done that, know that that doesn't work. It just devalues us and what we have to offer, and it kind of plays out this reoccurring theme in our mind that we are not worthy of being compensated for the services that we offer. So the invitation there is to pivot this construct in our head and look at it from an aspect of I'm going to give free content and free healing and free services in the way of delivering value in my content, about sharing strategy, about sharing techniques, breathing techniques, healing techniques, right? I'm going to share in this way to bring value to the collective. But when it comes to tapping into someone else's energy and guiding them through a session or a process or a healing or a reading, I deserve to be energetically compensated for this. And so we're going to be. So that's an invitation there as well to make sure that we're kind of pivoting that in the right way where it's like, yes, I do feel like I need to serve the collective. And I'm going to do this through value and through my content. And I'm not going to be in this space of lack and fear thinking, oh, but I'm just giving it all away up front. Giving away free services is giving it all away, right? But sharing your knowledge, sharing your gifts and showing everyone like this is what I have to offer. This is what I know. This is how I can help you. This is what I can bring to your life and your experience. That's a benefit, and it's going to show people what your value is so that you're no longer sitting here thinking, why don't people see my value? Well, honey, it's probably because you're not showing up in it. Okay, so let's change that and start showing up in this aspect of what our value is, what we have to teach, and know and trust that people are going to come in because they recognize that we are the person that can help them when we're working with them one-to-one. All right, that's what I have for you today. I hope that everyone enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Namaste.